So this year, RIKB Design Build is celebrating its 35th anniversary. And for the last few decades, they have been known for their nationally award-winning kitchen, bath, and multi-room renovations. And joining us this morning to discuss the common home improvement challenges and tips to avoid them all is design consultant Kingsley Catalucci. Good morning, Kingsley.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
All right, so kitchen and bath remodels are some of the most popular things that people want to do. They walk in, they're like, God, we've got to do something. We've got to do something. We've got to do something quick. But there can be challenges. Talk about that.
Oftentimes the challenges that we see are clients that are unsure on how to start and planning and just everything that goes into a remodel. There's so many details to consider, and everyone is focused on the end result and not the journey to take you there.
I'm glad you said it's a journey, because it can be a journey for a lot of people too.
Very much.
So what are some of the biggest mistakes that homeowners, can make when they remodel these places?
I would say first and foremost, it comes down to planning. So again, focusing on that end result and not realizing the steps that need to be taken along the way. Focusing on how things look and not necessarily on how they function and how you're going to live in the space. And so that takes a lot of tactful research and just understanding of how the space works.
And everybody has a budget too, so you have to work within the confines of that budget as well.
Of course, and again, people are really hyper-focused on the materials and the budgeting that goes into that, but not necessarily the not-so-fun stuff, what's behind the walls and underneath the floors that you have to invest in, all the rough mechanics, and those aspects of the project can eat up a good chunk of the budget.
And I would imagine, look, if you're moving into a house that may be older, you may not know what's behind those walls that have been covered up for years. So that there could be a few surprises along the way.
Always. I myself live in a historic home with a plaque on it, and so I have firsthand experience with those surprises, and just being in New England, we see that a lot.
Yeah, a lot of different places. All right. And just because you're on a budget doesn't mean you can't work with the customer and make something beautiful out of it. I know a lot of people go in with like these delusions of grandeur that they're going to, it's going to be this massive space. They have their budget, and you can still make things beautiful.
Of course. There's two ways of approaching budget. One is, here's this number that I feel comfortable investing, and show me the options that fit within that. And then the other hand is, these are all my ideas. I'm not sure what it's necessarily going to cost, but can you just show me what those options look like?
All right, Rhode Islanders, we have no patience. So scheduling and timing is also one of these things. People hire you and they're like, okay, when is it going to be done? Things take time.
Of course. And that's where all the upfront homework really comes into play. So when you're in construction, it can run seamlessly.
So when it comes to tearing things out, what should people be aware of when they're kind of ripping things apart in either a bathroom or a kitchen or whatever other part of the house that they're working on?
I think the awareness needs to come several steps before the tear out, and investigating what's behind the wall. If there's any uncertainty of what may be behind there and it may affect the design, opening up a hole in the wall when you're in the design phase can save you a lot of heartache further down the road.
RIKB is also kind of one-stop shopping. You can design it, you can work on all of the projects, so everybody knows what they have to do, and it is so important to work with an organization like that.
It is. It takes a village, and there's a number of people. There's a reason why a number of people have full-time jobs in this, just to make it work and make it work right.
All right, so there's also going to be a seminar as well, so let's talk about that.
There is. This Saturday, the 21st, Innovative Kitchen and Bath Trends. Myself and another designer, Erica, will be presenting that in the Design Center at 10 a.m.
And have a lot of things changed?
Things change each year. There's always going to be those classic design elements that never tire, but we will be focusing on some items that are trendy, and then those classic trends as well.
The things that always hold up and will stand the test of time too.
Exactly.
Right? It's all good stuff. Thanks so much for coming in with us. You can learn more about RIKB Design Build or register for that seminar. All you got to do is head on over to rhodeshow.com.